Welcome everybody to a Ramadan special. We're not talking dates, we're talking about the month itself, and we're going global, or at least, continent ally global, that's right. We're diving deep into Ramadan in Europe. The Muslim community in Europe is vibrant, diverse, and they're putting their own unique spin on this thousand-year-old tradition. We're talking about everything from navigating fasting in countries where the sun barely sets to the fusion of traditional Ramadan dishes with local European cuisine. Let's go! Let's be real, you can't talk about Ramadan without talking about community. And in Europe, mosques and Islamic centers are the beating heart of Ramadan. Think of iconic mosques like the London Central Mosque or the Grand Mosque of Paris. These places aren't just places of worship, they're community hubs. During Ramadan, they come alive. We're talking packed houses for Taraweeh prayers, lines out the door for Iftar.
And it's not just about the prayers. These centers organize everything from Islamic lectures and Quran study circles to youth programs and community iftars. They become spaces for connection, for learning, and for just existing in your Muslimness.
Even in smaller towns and villages across Europe, Muslims find a way. They convert homes, rent out community halls, anything to create that sense of community and shared purpose that Ramadan is all about. And these mosques, these community centers, they make it all happen. They're the anchors, the rocks, the foundation upon which European Muslims build their Ramadan experience. Okay, let's talk logistics. Fasting during Ramadan is no joke, right? It's a spiritual cleanse, a test of willpower, but also, let's be real, it's a serious challenge to your stomach's schedule. But for Muslims in Europe, especially in the northern parts, it's next level. Imagine fasting in Sweden, Finland, Norway, where in the summer the sun barely sets. We're talking almost 24 hours of daylight.
But Muslims in these countries, they're resilient, man. They adapt. They adjust their sleep schedules, their work schedules, everything to make it work. They consult with Islamic scholars to figure out the best way to observe the fast, whether it's following the timings of Mecca or the closest Muslim majority country. And let's not forget about the students, pulling all-nighters while fasting, trying to ace those exams.
It's a testament to their faith, but it also highlights the need for greater understanding and flexibility from schools and workplaces. Imagine explaining to your boss that you need to break your fast at 9:45 p.m. on the dot. Because the sun sets at 10:03 p.m. It's a conversation, right? But these challenges, they also bring about a sense of camaraderie. There's a shared understanding, a knowing nod between Muslims in these countries, like, yo, we're in this together. They share tips, recipes for energy-boosting suhoors, and they support each other through the long days. It's a testament to the human spirit, really, the ability to adapt, to persevere, and to find strength in shared challenges. All right, let's be real. One of the best parts of Ramadan is the food, right? And in Europe, Ramadan becomes this beautiful tapestry of culinary traditions, blending centuries-old recipes from across the Muslim world with local European flavors. We're talking tagines in France infused with herbs de Provence, samosas in the UK with a spicy British twist. And don't even get me started on the variations of baklava you'll find across the continent. Each country, each region even, adds its own unique flair to the Ramadan table.
But it's not just about the food itself. It's about the act of sharing, of breaking bread, or dates in this case, with friends, family, and even strangers. Iftar becomes this incredible opportunity to share your culture, your traditions, and your faith with others. Imagine inviting your non-Muslim colleagues over for Iftar, explaining the significance of the meal, the etiquette, maybe even teaching them a few Arabic phrases.
And the best part, you don't even have to be a master chef. Some of the most heartwarming Ramadan experiences happen over simple home-cooked meals. So the next time you're invited to an Iftar, go with an open mind, an empty stomach, and get ready to experience Ramadan in all its delicious multicultural glory.
Now, Ramadan isn't just about fasting and feasting. It's about reflection, about empathy, and about giving back to those less fortunate.
We're talking zakat, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, where Muslims donate a portion of their wealth to charity. During Ramadan, these donations become even more significant, a way to purify your wealth and share your blessings with those in need.
And then there's sadaqah, voluntary acts of charity that go beyond the obligatory zakat. It could be anything from donating money to a local food bank to volunteering your time at a homeless shelter.
Across Europe, mosques and Islamic centers organize clothing drives, food drives, and fundraising events, channeling the spirit of Ramadan into tangible acts of kindness. They partner with local charities, both Muslim and non-Muslim, to maximize their reach and impact.
And it's not just about financial contributions. Many Muslims use this month to reconnect with their communities, volunteering their time and skills. They organize youth mentorship programs, visit the elderly, and provide support to refugees and asylum seekers.
This spirit of giving isn't confined to the Muslim community either. Many non-Muslim organizations and individuals join these efforts, recognizing the importance of solidarity and compassion. So we've talked about the community aspect, the fasting, the food, the charity. But what about how Ramadan is perceived in the broader European landscape? It's complicated, right? Like most things related to identity and representation. But the good news is things are changing. Slowly but surely, Ramadan is becoming more visible in the European public sphere. We're seeing more media coverage of Ramadan, and not just the stereotypical, often negative portrayals. We're talking about nuanced stories about Muslim families, their traditions, their challenges, and their contributions to society. Some European countries have even started recognizing Eid al-Fitr, the celebration that marks the end of Ramadan, as a public holiday. And while it's not everywhere yet, it's a step towards greater inclusivity and recognition of the Muslim community. But let's be real. There's still a long way to go. Misconceptions about Islam and Muslims persist, fueled by fear-mongering and political rhetoric. And Ramadan, with its heightened visibility, sometimes becomes a target for Islamophobic sentiment. That's why it's more important than ever for European Muslims to share their stories, to engage in dialogue, and to challenge stereotypes. And it's equally important for non-Muslims to listen, to learn, and to be allies in the fight against Islamophobia. Look, it wouldn't be a real conversation about Ramadan in Europe without acknowledging the challenges, right? Because let's be real, it's not always easy being Muslim in a predominantly non-Muslim society.
For Muslims in smaller communities, especially in rural areas, feelings of isolation can be amplified during Ramadan. They might be the only Muslim family in their town or even their school or workplace. And while this can foster a sense of resilience and self-reliance, it can also be, well, lonely.
Then there's the commercialization of Ramadan. Just like with any holiday, businesses are catching on to the economic potential of Ramadan. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with Ramadan-themed marketing, it's important to remember that Ramadan isn't about consumerism.
So how do European Muslims navigate these challenges? Well, they find strength in their faith, in their communities, and in their resilience. They utilize technology to connect with other Muslims across Europe and beyond, sharing experiences, recipes, and words of encouragement.
They organize online iftars, virtual lectures, and social media campaigns to foster a sense of community even when physically distant. And most importantly, they focus on the true spirit of Ramadan. They prioritize spiritual growth over material possessions, community over consumerism, and compassion over judgment. So, there you have it. A glimpse into the diverse and dynamic world of Ramadan in Europe, from the grand mosques of London and Paris to the small, tight-knit communities in rural villages. European Muslims are redefining what it means to observe this centuries-old tradition in a modern, multicultural context. Despite the challenges, Ramadan in Europe is a testament to the enduring power of faith, community, and the human spirit. It's a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the spirit of Ramadan shines through, bringing people together, fostering compassion, and reminding us of the values that truly matter. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Ramadan in Europe.